Yeah.
Cabinet approves hydropower project worth 1,810 crore rupees in Himachal Pradesh on river Satluj today. Also approves MOU between India and Israel on cooperation in field of health and medicine. Mumbai police arrest Republic TV editor-in-chief Arnab Goswami. State government faces condemnation from all across for curbing press freedom. Union Minister of Information and Broadcasting Prakash Javadekar says arrest is reminiscent of emergency days, condemns Congress for fascist mindset at display in Maharashtra. Union Minister Piyush Goyal says assaulting a journalist is an example of misuse of power. Smriti Irani appeals not to support suppression. It's neck-and-neck race between President Donald Trump and Democrat challenger Joe Biden. Trump ahead in battleground states of Florida, Pennsylvania and North Carolina. Biden leads in California, Arizona and Iowa. Hello and welcome to this edition of the news. I'm Rukma. In our top story, the Union Cabinet met in New Delhi today to discuss the economic situation of the country and express satisfaction over the fact that the economy is rapidly returning back on track. Union I&B Minister Prakash Javadekar, briefing the media after the cabinet meeting, said that there are favorable signs that the country's economy is returning on track.
बिजली की मांग 12% बढ़ी है। जीएसटी पिछले साल के अक्टूबर में जितना मिला था उससे ज्यादा 1,05,000 करोड़ रुपए अक्टूबर महीने में प्राप्त हुआ। एक तरह से सभी क्षेत्रों में एक सतत मांग का विकास, सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट इन डिमांड, ये नजर आ रही है। जितने रिजल्ट्स सामने आ रहे हैं लिस्टेड कंपनियों के, टर्नओवर बढ़ा है, प्रॉफिट्स भी बढ़े हैं, इन्वेस्टमेंट बढ़ी है, FDI भी बढ़ा है।
The Union Cabinet has approved 1,810 crore rupees investment proposal of 210 megawatt Luhri Stage 1 hydro power project on the river Satluj. The project will be commissioned within a span of 62 months and will also lead to reduction of 6.1 lakh tons of carbon dioxide from the environment annually.
हिमाचल में लुहरी हाइड्रो प्रोजेक्ट करने का निर्णय लिया गया। 210 मेगावाट का ये बिजली का प्रोजेक्ट 1810 करोड़ रुपए के लागत से बनेगा। इससे 775 करोड़ यूनिट हर साल बिजली मिलेगी। इससे 2000 लोगों को प्रत्यक्ष और अप्रत्यक्ष रोजगार के अवसर मिलेंगे। हिमाचल को 1140 करोड़ रुपए की बिजली मुफ्त मिलेगी।
And the cabinet has approved a memorandum of understanding between India and Israel on cooperation in the field of health and medicine. The cabinet further approved signing of an MOU between India and the UK on cooperation in the field of telecommunication or ICTs.
4 समझौते भी हुए, 3 मेमोरेंडम ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग है और एक एग्रीमेंट है। भारत और इजराइल के बीच में हेल्थ और मेडिसिन के क्षेत्र में और भारत और इंग्लैंड के बीच में भी स्वास्थ्य की सेवाओं के बारे में, मेडिकल प्रोडक्ट्स रेगुलेशन के संबंध में समझौते हुए हैं। भारत इंग्लैंड के दरमियान और एक समझौता हुआ है टेलीकम्युनिकेशन और आईसीटी के बारे में दोनों देश सहयोग से काम करेंगे और एक भारत और स्पेन में समझौता हुआ है जिसमें साइंटिफिक एंड टेक्निकल कोलैबोरेशन इन एस्ट्रोनॉमी ये तैयार करने का दोनों का तय हुआ है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will chair the virtual Global Investor Roundtable (VGIR) tomorrow. The VGIR is being organized by the Ministry of Finance, Government of India and National Investment and Infrastructure Fund. It is an exclusive dialogue between leading global institutional investors, Indian business leaders and the highest decision makers from the Government of India and financial market regulators. The roundtable will witness participation from 20 of the world's largest pension and sovereign wealth funds with a total assets under management of about $6 trillion. These global institutional investors represent key regions including the US, Europe, Canada, Korea, Japan, the Middle East, Australia and Singapore. The event will witness participation of key decision makers of these funds, that is CEOs and CIOs. Apart from global investors, the roundtable will also see participation of several top Indian business leaders. VGIR 2020 will focus on discussions around India's economic and investment outlook, structural reforms, and the government's vision for the path to a $5 trillion economy. Mumbai police today arrested Republic TV editor-in-chief Arnab Goswami in connection with alleged abetment to suicide of a 53-year-old interior designer in 2018. Arnab was arrested in a joint operation by the Alibag police and Mumbai police. The case pertains to the death by suicide of Anvay Naik, managing director of Concord Design Private Limited in 2018. Arnab's lawyer briefing media said that his arrest was not even informed to his wife and he was assaulted by 2 police officers. He also said his family members were pushed and the house was cordoned off for 3 hours and added that Arnab has appealed for public support.
Arnab Goswami was physically assaulted in his house by 2 police officers. His house was cordoned off for 3 hours. There are abrasions on his hand here, on his left hand. He has an already existing injury on his hand where that was also tried to be torn apart by the police. His arrest was not informed to his wife, but his arrest Panchanama says that he was informed to his wife. So he appeals to the citizens of India to support in this case, especially when the FIR has been closed by a closure report in form of Form A. So there was no FIR, and after the closure of the FIR, there is a re-investigation done by this police station where in that re-investigation he has been arrested. It appears to be so. We still do not have any police papers in our hand.
And after Republic TV editor Arnab Goswami's arrest, Union Minister for Information and Broadcasting Prakash Javadekar slammed Maharashtra Police's attack on press freedom, comparing it to the days of emergency. The Union Minister in a tweet said, I quote, "We condemn the attack on press freedom in Maharashtra. This is not the way to treat the press. This reminds us of the emergency days when the press was treated like this." Attacking Congress President Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, the Union Minister further added, "We condemn the Congress led by Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi for its fascist and emergency mindset, which is on display in Maharashtra." Calling the incident of Arnab Goswami's arrest shameful, Union Minister JP Nadda said that every person who believes in a free press and freedom of expression is furious at the Maharashtra government's bullying and harassment of Arnab Goswami.
जिस तरीके से हमारे रिपब्लिक चैनल के एडिटर इन चीफ अर्नब गोस्वामी को गिरफ्तार किया गया है, वह बताता है कि कांग्रेस की मानसिकता और महाराष्ट्र सरकार की मानसिकता किस तरीके से प्रजातंत्र का गला घोटने पर उतारू है और आमदा है। मैं इसकी घोर निंदा करता हूं और यह पत्रकारिता प्रजातंत्र पर एक बड़ा भारी आघात है, जिसके बारे में भारत की जनता को आगे जाना चाहिए और इसकी जितनी कड़ी निंदा की जाए वो कम है, ऐसा मैं मानता हूं।
Union Home Minister Amit Shah also slammed the Congress and its allies on the incident. In a tweet, he said, I quote, Congress and its allies have shamed democracy once again. Blatant misuse of state power against Republic TV and Arnab Goswami is an attack on individual freedom and the fourth pillar of democracy. It reminds us of the emergency. This attack on free press must be and will be opposed. Union Minister Piyush Goyal says assaulting a journalist is an example of misuse of power. In a tweet, he said, and I quote, strongly condemn this attack on freedom of press in Maharashtra. This fascist move is a sign of undeclared emergency. Assaulting journalist Arnab Goswami is an example of misuse of power. We must all stand up against this attack on India's democracy. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh also condemned the attack. In a tweet, he said, the treatment meted out to senior journalist Arnab Goswami is a symbol of efforts to weaken the fourth estate and suppress the voice of opposition in a dictatorial manner. The Congress should take note of several examples, including the emergency, that show how governments that suppress the press suffer badly. Slamming the Maharashtra government, Union Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad said that the arrest of senior journalist Arnab Goswami is seriously reprehensible, unwarranted and worrisome. We had fought for freedoms of press as well while opposing the draconian emergency of 1975. In a series of tweets, the Union Minister said, Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi have openly attacked the Narendra Modi government through motivated charges of attack on institutions, yet they are completely silent when their own government in Maharashtra is blatantly suppressing freedom of the press. Textbook case of hypocrisy, he further added. One can differ, one can debate and one can ask questions too. However, arresting a journalist of the stature of Arnab Goswami by abuse of police power because he was asking questions is something which we all need to condemn. Union Cabinet Minister Smriti Irani also tweeted, those in the free press who don't stand up today in support of Arnab, you are now tacitly in support of fascism. You may not like him. You may not approve of him. You may despise his very existence. But if you stay silent, you support suppression. Who speaks if you are next? And even as Mumbai police arrested Republic TV editor-in-chief Arnab Goswami in connection with alleged abetment to suicide of a 53-year-old interior designer in 2018, well, reactions are pouring in. Joining the momentum on his arrest, former Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis said, although emergency was defeated in 1977, the mentality is still alive. Today, supporters of emergency, Congress and Shiv Sena displaying the same undemocratic brutality to crush any voice of dissent. India has always fought such forces and the struggle will continue. Reacting further in a tweet, Bihar Deputy Chief Minister Sushil Modi said, I quote, arrest of Arnab Goswami is a move to throttle the nationalist voice in media. Congress's emergency mindset is still there. Arnab's the whole country is with you. We have seen the press censorship and torture to Ramnath Goenka, Kuldeep Nair during emergency. Also reacting to the arrest of Arnab Goswami, Union Minister of Minority Affairs Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi said, law is equal to all and prejudice mindsets should not reflect in society.
कानून जो है वो सबके लिए समान है, लेकिन कहीं पर भी प्रेजुडिस माइंडसेट के साथ किस तरह की हरकतें नहीं दिखाई देनी चाहिए। अगर कोई प्रेजुडिस माइंडसेट के साथ दिखती है तो निश्चित तौर से वो सवाल के घेरे में खड़ी होती है।
And at a press conference, BJP spokesperson Sambit Patra condemned the arrest of Arnab Goswami, saying it is clearly an attack on individual fundamental rights.
Such dastardly action against the press, against the people who dissent, is an attack on the fundamental right of not only the press, the reporters, the editors, but also the fundamental right, is an attack on the fundamental right of the core of this democracy called India.
Bollywood actress Kangana Ranaut in a video message questioned Mumbai police asking, how many voices will you shut?
मैं महाराष्ट्र सरकार को ये पूछना चाहती हूँ कि आपने आज अर्नब गोस्वामी के घर में जाके उनको मारा है, उनके बाल नोचे हैं, उनको असॉल्ट किया है। एक आवाज़ बंद करेंगे, कई उठ जाएंगी। कितनी आवाज़ें बंद करेंगे आप?
And now an update on the US presidential polls. As the counting of votes for the 2020 United States presidential election continues, US President Donald Trump, addressing a press conference at a little past 2 a.m. on Wednesday local time, accused the Joe Biden campaign of election fraud and said he would move the US Supreme Court. We want all voting, read counting to stop, he said in an address from the White House. Trump added, we want the law to be used in a proper manner, so we will be going to the US Supreme Court. Trump said, adding that the Biden campaign had committed a fraud on the American public.
So our goal now is to ensure the integrity for the good of this nation. This is a very big moment. This is a major fraud in our nation. We want the law to be used in a proper manner. So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop. We don't want them to find any ballots at 4 o'clock in the morning and add them to the list, okay? It's a very sad moment. To me, this is a very sad moment, and we will win this, and as far as I'm concerned, we already have won it. So I just want to thank you.
And President Trump thanked the voters for their tremendous support from the White House. He said, we are getting ready for big celebrations. Earlier at night, Biden had said he was optimistic of a win in the US presidential elections and thanked his supporters for their patience. When reports last came in,
I want to thank the American people for their tremendous support. Millions and millions of people voted for us tonight, and a very sad group of people is trying to disenfranchise that group of people, and we won't stand for it. The results tonight have been phenomenal, and we are getting ready. I mean, literally, we were just all set to get outside and just celebrate something that was so beautiful, so good.
I'm optimistic about this outcome. And I want to thank every one of you who came out and voted in this election. And by the way, Chris Coons and the Democrats, congratulations here in Delaware. Pardon? Hey, John, the Gov, yeah, the whole team, man. You've done a great job. I'm grateful to the poll workers, to our volunteers, our canvassers, everyone who participated in this democratic process. And I'm grateful to all of my supporters here in Delaware and all across the nation. Thank you.
and Biden was leading with 224 electoral votes with 50% of popular votes when reports last came in. Trump was trailing with 213 electoral votes with 48.3% of the votes. Interestingly, according to media projections, Trump is ahead in battleground states Georgia, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Michigan and Wisconsin, while Biden leads in Nevada and Arizona. Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan inaugurated via video conference a prefabricated isolation center for COVID at NDRF's 4th Battalion Station at Arakonam in Tamil Nadu. This is a special type of structure made entirely of steel and can be converted into a hospital within 1 or 2 days. It is equipped with all facilities and is beneficial in times of disaster or COVID-like pandemic. Earlier, such a hospital came up in Ghaziabad.
इस अस्पताल की खासियत ये है कि इसके लिए जो सामग्री है वो स्टील के फ्रेम्स और दूसरी चीज़ें एक साधारण व्यक्ति अपने कंधे पर उठाकर चल सकता है। कुछ घंटे से लेकर 1 या 2 दिनों के अंदर ये पूरा का पूरा अस्पताल बनाया जा सकता है और सब प्रकार की उसमें सुविधा संपन्न है। सब प्रकार की जिसे कहते हैं कि जो फैसिलिटीज़ उसके अंदर विकसित की जा सकती हैं और उसको बनाने के लिए कोई बहुत बड़े बड़े एक्सपर्ट की ज़रूरत नहीं है। 1-2 स्किल्ड फिटर्स और एक इवन अनस्किल्ड जो है लोकल फिटर और जिन लोगों के लिए बनाया जाता है उन्हीं की सहायता लेकर इसको 1 या 2 दिन में खड़ा किया जा सकता है।
In a landmark step, India's public broadcaster Prasar Bharati entered into a memorandum of understanding with Bhaskaracharya National Institute for Space Applications and Geoinformatics. Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology said today. Under the ambit of this MOU, 51 DTH education TV channels will be available as DD co-branded channels to all DD free dish viewers. The move aims at bringing quality educational programs to every household, including those in rural and remote areas. The services will be available free of cost for all viewers 24/7, in line with government's commitment towards skill development and providing quality education to the last person in the country. This government initiative will go a long way towards achieving government's goal of providing education to all.
Today's MOU basically brings these 50 channels within the umbrella of Prasar Bharati through a collaboration between Prasar Bharati and BIZAG. As a result of this collaboration, all of these channels will have the Doordarshan co-branding, and they will become a part officially of the DD Free Dish platform, and the Doordarshan authorized set-top boxes will have a menu option where you can browse and discover these channels, and we see this as a very important step, especially in this environment during COVID-19.
And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the news. News and updates continue on DD News and DD India. Namaskar.